Back at the naturopath. Thanks for coming back. We're going to talk about antibiotics. We're going to talk about tetracycline. We're going to talk about leaky gut, candida. So there'll be a few points raised in this video. But the topic of this video is, what is the link between tetracycline and leaky gut? So tetracycline is a broad spectrum antibiotic that was really, I think, discovered in the 1940s. I think 1943, something like that. Basically, this is a drug that gets in there, and it's designed, it really actually was designed from Actinobacter and various other bacteria. And what they basically do is they create something that can get into the cell wall of bacteria and rupture them and kill them. What I really don't like about antibiotics is their devastating effect on the human gut microbiota, creating this permeability to get worse, okay? So if you think about the gut, it's actually really like a system where things can get through and other things can't get through, okay? Tiny little molecules of food, particles and water and different things that we need get through that membrane and they feed our body. But what we're finding out now, one of the biggest disruptor of leaky gut is pharmaceutical medications. Hello, you could knock me down with a feather. I've been saying this for the last, 30 years, and now finally all these doctors like Amy Myers and all these medical docs are coming on board saying, oh my goodness, these pharmaceutical drugs are actually creating more problems than they're solving. Well, come on, it's almost like a comedy act, you know? When you give a drug, antibiotic, anti-life, what's it going to do? It's going to kill stuff inside your body. It's common sense, isn't it? So when you destroy life internally, some of that life will come back, some may never come back, okay? Other life may take years to come back. Finally, science is now validating what I've been saying for so long, that when you take an antibiotic like tetracycline, there is a chance it could take years for your gut to recover even from one course. In October 2018, a study was conducted, I think it was in Copenhagen, it was in Scandinavia, basically with young guys, healthy young men. Their gut was checked with a stool test before and then after, and they were given tetracycline for a period, I think for about only 4 or 5 days. And what they discovered is 9 species of gut bacteria in these young men didn't even recover after 6 months of stopping the antibiotic. So they only had this drug for 4 days, but for literally months and months after, you know. When we have a look at the facts and the research, in some cases, some people never recover after antibiotics. So is it any wonder? I mean, if you're going to pour stuff, if I'm going to go to your house now and get a couple of gallons of glyphosate or Roundup, courtesy of our friends Monsanto, and pour that all over your beautiful lawn and soak it, okay, and then come back, I'm going to kill all the grass. But not only going to kill the grass, I'm going to actually wreck that soil underneath, sometimes for years, and you know, prohibit things from growing back to create that nice lush green grass that we all love to walk on. Now it's similar with tetracycline. When you take a drug, we know that it actually wrecks and destroys gut microbiota. We kill millions and millions of bacteria. Yes, we kill some bad guys, but we trash a lot of good too. So we get a ton of collateral damage. Now, in some cases, it may never come back again to what it really was. So the link between tetracycline and leaky gut is similar to many other antibiotics. They disrupt that cellular membrane. Okay, we've got a nice big thin border called the brush border with mucus in there, and it's a single layer thick. Bacteria thrive in that brush border. So once we start killing off these bacteria in that border, we allow that to become far more permeable. It's like poking more and more holes in a plastic bag, and more water can leak out, and eventually everything leaks out. This is the basis of autoimmunity. In the future, it will be seen that pharmaceutical medications like antibiotics caused more misery and more death and more disease than they actually solved. Right? This video is shot in 2020. I hope someone watches it in 2100 and will say, yes, that guy was right. Okay? Because I know I'm right, because all the studies and scientists finally validating this now. So if you're watching this video and you are considering taking antibiotics, and by the way, 50% of antibiotic prescriptions are totally unnecessary according to the Center for Disease Control. So there's a 50-50 chance you're taking something you don't even need to take, all right? Just because a doctor tells you to jump off, okay, the Empire State Building, would you do that? You probably would, because the doctor told you to do that, you know? I don't think I would jump off the building if a doctor asked me. I'd ask him to jump first, and then, you know, if he didn't splatter, I'd consider it myself. So think about this. Why would you take an antibiotic when maybe you don't even need the antibiotic, okay? Because you could be causing irreversible damage to your gut. I've been in practice for 30 plus years. I retired in November last year from practice, but most of my work, I will repeat, most of my work has been involved to repair the damage caused by antibiotics to people's digestive systems. Most of my work. And in some cases I work with patients for 2 or 3 years to try and restore their gut. In other cases it will take a few months. So I'm picking up the pieces, the broken shards and the pieces of crap on the ground, that have fallen, that did not need to break in the first place. So please really be careful about antibiotic prescriptions. I'm not saying doctors are fools. Doctors are very smart people, and I've got a lot of friends that are medical doctors. Most of my medical doctor friends, in fact, now do not prescribe antibiotics anymore, except for extreme circumstances. When I was a kid in the 60s, all you had to do was a little sniffle or cough, and you'd be put on antibiotic for 14 days. Tiny cut to the finger, penicillin for 10, 14 days. That's all changing now. And well into the future, I can tell you folks now, antibiotics will not be used anymore well in the future when we start discovering the real causes of disease. And it's not just bacteria and viruses. It's way beyond that. So I hope you now understand the connection between tetracycline and leaky gut. Please do a search yourself. But don't look at sites like Wikipedia, because when I looked at Wikipedia, it says that tetracycline is a very safe and effective drug. Funny that. When it wrecks health of people, destroys bones and teeth, and creates massive side effects on multiple levels, yes, it does have some beneficial effect, but the long-term effects of drugs like this far overshadow any benefits you'll gain from them in the short term. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Thanks for tuning in.